Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. The fight for workers' rights is a story that stretches from the dusty, oppressive workshops of the past to the gleaming, algorithm-driven campuses of today. It's a continuous thread of struggle for dignity and fairness. Today, we're tracing that thread from a historic strike in the 1930s to the new labor frontiers in Silicon Valley. Let's start in San Antonio, Texas, in the 1930s. The city was the heart of America's pecan industry, processing nearly half the nation's crop. This industry was built on the backs of about 12,000 workers, the vast majority of whom were Mexican-American women. The conditions were deplorable. They worked over 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, for a weekly wage of just $2 to $3. The air in the cramped, poorly ventilated shelling plants was thick, with fine, brown pecan dust, a constant irritant that contributed to San Antonio's alarmingly high rate of tuberculosis. The work was grueling, done by hand, because the owners found human labor cheaper than machines. The breaking point came in 1938. The Southern Pecan Shelling Company announced a wage cut. The pay for shelled pecan halves was slashed from 7 cents a pound to 6. This seemingly small reduction was the final straw for a workforce already on the brink. On January 31, 1938, an estimated 12,000 pecan shellers walked out of the factories. The strike was led by Emma Tenayuca, a passionate labor activist known as La Pasionaria. Tenayuca wasn't a pecan sheller herself, but she was a fierce advocate for the city's working poor. Her involvement, however, gave city officials and company management an opening to discredit the strike by labeling it a communist plot. The response from the city's power structure was swift and brutal. Police arrested hundreds of peaceful picketers, cramming them into overcrowded and unsanitary jails. Soup kitchens that fed the strikers were shut down. The city government and local press sided with the companies, vilifying the workers. Despite this intense opposition, the pecan shellers held firm for 3 months. Their plight eventually drew the attention of Texas Governor James Allred, who ordered an investigation into the civil liberties violations. After 37 days of protest, both sides agreed to arbitration. The board ruled in favor of the strikers, ordering higher wages and officially recognizing the International Pecan Shellers Union. It was a stunning victory. But it was tragically short-lived. That same year, on October 24, 1938, the federal government passed the Fair Labor Standards Act, establishing a national minimum wage of 25 cents per hour. Faced with this new wage requirement, the pecan companies, which had long relied on exploitation, made a choice. Rather than pay the mandated wage, they mechanized their operations. In the end, an estimated 10,000 pecan shellers, the very workers who had fought so bravely, lost their jobs. Their union, born from a desperate struggle, soon faded into history. The story of the pecan shellers is a poignant reminder of the courage it takes to challenge power and the often unforeseen consequences of technology. And it's a story that finds surprising echoes in the most modern of industries, the tech sector. For decades, the tech industry seemed immune to the labor movements that swept through other sectors. The image was one of well-compensated tech bros working on fun campuses with free food and nap pods. But beneath this polished veneer, a different kind of labor struggle has been brewing, one that shares a common DNA with the pecan shellers of San Antonio. This isn't entirely new. As early as 1974, unions tried to organize workers at semiconductor firms like Intel. In the 1980s, the Communications Workers of America, or CWA, attempted to unionize IBM. In 1998, a group called WashTech formed at Microsoft to fight for permatemps, contract workers doing the same jobs as full-time employees, but with lower pay and no benefits. Their advocacy led to better conditions and permanent jobs for many. But the contemporary tech labor movement has evolved. While wages and benefits are still important, a new wave of activism is driven by concerns over workplace culture, ethics, and the societal impact of the technology they build. A pivotal moment came in 2016, with the Never Again Pledge, where thousands of tech workers vowed not to build databases that could be used to target specific populations. Then, in 2018, over 20,000 Google employees worldwide walked out to protest the company's handling of sexual harassment allegations against executives. It was an unprecedented show of collective power. Their demands included an end to forced arbitration and a public sexual harassment transparency report. This new era of activism has also seen workers challenging their employers' business deals. Amazon employees have protested contracts with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. Workers at Salesforce and Microsoft have organized against their company's work with government agencies. This groundswell of activism has led to the formation of new unions at the biggest names in tech. Let's start with Google's parent company, Alphabet. In January 2021, workers announced the formation of the Alphabet Workers Union, or AWU. It's what's known as a minority union, meaning it doesn't have majority support to force contract bargaining. Instead, it focuses on building power through a wall-to-wall model, welcoming all workers, full-time employees, temporary workers, vendors, and contractors. Their goals are incredibly broad. They want a workplace that is inclusive and fair, where harassers are held accountable, and where workers can refuse to work on projects that don't align with their values. The AWU has campaigned for better pay for contract workers, advocated for data privacy, and spoken out against the company's development of AI for military use. Their strategy relies on direct action, public pressure, and filing unfair labor practice charges. Now let's look at Amazon. The struggle to unionize Amazon's vast network of warehouses has been long and arduous. The company is famous for its aggressive anti-union tactics. But in April 2022, workers at the JFK 8 warehouse in Staten Island, New York, achieved a historic victory. They voted to form the Amazon Labor Union, or ALU, the first successful unionization at an Amazon facility in the U.S. The ALU, an independent worker-led union, faced an uphill battle, but in a major development in 2024, the ALU voted to affiliate with the 1.3 million-member International Brotherhood of Teamsters. This gives the new union much-needed resources and organizational muscle. The Teamsters are also organizing Amazon's delivery drivers, who are often employed through third-party contractors. The fight at Amazon highlights the massive challenges of organizing in the gig economy. The organizing wave has even reached the sleek, minimalist retail stores of Apple. In 2022, workers at an Apple store in Towson, Maryland, became the first in the U.S. to unionize. Later that year, workers in Oklahoma City followed suit. Their concerns were familiar: wages not keeping pace with the cost of living, unpredictable schedules, and a desire for a voice. Apple, like Amazon, responded with strong anti-union tactics. The unionized stores are still fighting for their first contracts, a process that has been slow and contentious. It shows that even at a company with a powerful brand and a reputation as a good employer, workers are demanding more than just a paycheck. They're demanding respect. So while the settings have changed dramatically, from the grime of a pecan shelling plant to the pristine aesthetic of an Apple store, the fundamental struggles of workers are strikingly similar. The pecan shellers fought for a living wage. Today's tech workers fight for pay equity and a share in the massive profits their labor creates. The pecan shellers fought for basic safety. Tech workers fight for a workplace free from harassment. Both movements are, at their core, a demand for human dignity. However, the modern labor movement faces unique challenges, especially from globalization and automation. Globalization allows companies to move jobs across borders, which can weaken the bargaining power of unions. The threat of offshoring is a powerful tool to suppress unionization, but globalization has also created new avenues for international solidarity. Tech workers are increasingly organizing across borders, sharing strategies and supporting each other's struggles. And then there's the specter of automation. The fear that machines will replace human labor is not new. The Pecan shellers of 1938 experienced this firsthand. Their hard-won victory was undone by the introduction of shelling machines. Today, rapid advancements in artificial intelligence are raising the same fears. One report estimated that up to 800 million jobs could be displaced by automation by 2030. This technological disruption is a central concern for the modern labor movement. Unions are now demanding retraining programs and a say in how new technologies are implemented. The goal isn't to stop progress, but to ensure that the benefits of automation are shared broadly and that workers aren't left behind. The evolution of labor movements, from dusty picket lines to digital activism, is a testament to the enduring power of collective action. The specific battles may change, the tools may evolve, but the fundamental human desire for dignity, respect, and a fair share of the wealth we create remains constant. The struggles of the Pecan shellers, though ending in a bittersweet victory, laid the groundwork for future generations. They showed the power of a united workforce against overwhelming opposition. Today, as tech workers grapple with a globalized, automated economy, they are building on that legacy. They are forging a new kind of labor movement for the 21st century, one that fights not just for better pay, but for a more just and equitable world. The march for workers' rights is far from over. It has simply found a new and critically important front in the heart of the digital age. Thanks for listening to Fun Facts Online.